And we are back live at Impact. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We are in round number two. Round number two here. I am Les Alex. We are live at Impact Gaming Center in the fabulous Fairview Heights. We've got Hector on Izzet Murktide versus Ben on Esper Satoru. So this should be a pretty fun matchup. This Satoro deck, seen a lot of play on the internet by a specific gamer. I forget who it is, but both of these players are 1-1. I am updating these life totals and these, or not life totals, but these records and the round and everything right now as we speak. But thanks everybody for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are watching live, though, hang out and chat with me. All right, here we go. Everything's updated. Sorry about that, everybody. We are down to 17 for Hector. There's a Ragavan off the steam vents. And Ben will take a draw step. We'll play a Flooded Strand. Crack said Flooded Strand down to 19. So, just so everybody knows, Hector is pretty new to Magic the Gathering, so Ben might be explaining some things to him about how Fetchlands works and things like that. Hector, super new to our shop as well, so we were able to get him hooked up with a Izzet Murktide deck, and he's playing Izzet Phoenix in Pioneer as well. So, shout out to Hector. Thanks for coming on out and hanging out at Impact. We appreciate you, man. If you're watching this after the fact. So Ben's gonna get a Godless Shrine. Hector waving to the folks watching, the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home. Is this Skyclave Apparition? Oh no, this is Stoneforge Mystic. I'm sorry. As the From the Vault Stoneforge, or not From the Vault. Look, I'm showing my age. There's the Aegis. Assimilation Aegis. All right. There is Assimilation Aegis. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it is basically an Oblivion Ring. And then whenever it becomes attached to a creature, for as long as it remains attached to that creature, you get to copy it. Copy the exiled creature. So it is an O-ring that is also, you know, a copycat. So pretty insane. Pretty cool card. But the Unholy Heat is going to take down the Stoneforge Mystics, so we won't get that anytime soon. So we're going to fetch. Oh, yep, can't get that one. But yeah, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, Birdman! Gifting 2 Tier 1 subs. Congratulations, the Sereno and Fall Lady. Faldill. Faldill? Let me know, Faldill or Fall Lady. I don't know. Either way, though. Thank you, Birdman. 738. We appreciate you. Another Steam Vents. Down to 14. We are one away from having 10 subscribers here on Twitch, and once we get to 10, we can unlock an emote, I think, so that's pretty awesome. And Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's a treasure token, and we will exile a land. And I think Ben is explaining what treasure tokens do, how Hector can use them for mana, things of that nature. So preordain, he does have to sacrifice it, so we are triggering Dragon's Rage Channeler, so we'll surveil first. Expressive Iteration, the card. I just like people. Hey, I like people too. So keep that on top. Now we are resolving the preordain. Number series says, I too am a people enthusiast. Well, we appreciate you, number series. Alrighty, looks like we're heading back over to Ben. Ben gonna take a draw step. Looks like he drew an ephemerate. We're gonna surveil. That's a blue-black surveil land there. Full art. Foil, beautiful looking. Ben usually has some pretty sweet foils. Looks like he has a Satoro in his hand. And looks like we are going to deploy Satoro. And while Hector takes a gander, we are also going to do the same. Satoro, the Infiltrator, from the brand new set, Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Howdy, partner. There it is on screen for you. It's got Menace, it's a 2/3, and whenever it or one or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control, if no mana was spent to cast, you get to draw a card. Pretty strong card, especially in Ben's deck where he's got the Evoke Elementals and Ephemerate, things like that. So, but unfortunately, Lightning Bolt gonna take down the Satoro here. But hopefully, if you're Ben, or if you're rooting for Ben, that will not be the last time we see Satoro. Hector gonna play Misty Rainforest. Going to crack and fetch here. And I'm sure Ben will let him know that he has to put that in the graveyard. Otherwise, I will go out there and inform them. That would be an insane ramp card, would it not? Tap it, pay a life, go get a land. Still get to keep it. Just get to do it every turn. What is it? Renin 6 out there? Like, what are we talking about here? Alrighty. So he's got 2 Unholy Heats. And it looks like an Expressive Iteration. There's Expressive Iteration. We're going to trigger Dragon's Rage Channeler. He's going to keep that on top. And now we're going to resolve Expressive Iteration. Alright, so expressive iteration, he gets to look at the top 3 cards of his deck, take 1 in his hand, exile 1, and then 1 goes to the bottom of his deck. Alright. Dragon Rage Channeler, land, counterspell are the 3 cards. Doesn't have any interest in the land. Now we get to attack. Trigger on Ragavan. So we'll make a treasure and exile a Stoneforge Mystic. Not really a great one to cast, per se, but definitely one to deny Ben of. He's going to cast the Dragon's Rage Channeler off the treasure token, and Ben is going to take his turn now. Alrighty, here we go. This will be Marsh Flats. We're going to tap 3 mana to cast. What are we casting? Assimilation Aegis? Well, first we're going to fetch, and I am way behind on Ben's life total. But he'll go Surgeon. He will get, I believe that is a Plains. Yeah, definitely a Plains. Those are like the screensaver basics from that secret layer drop. Ah, Cryptic Coat. All right, so this is another fairly new card. Fairly powerful as well. I've seen this starting to pop up in Modern, which is, you know, pretty powerful format, I would say. Let's get it on screen though for you folks. There it is. It's a 3 mana artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, cloak the top card of your library, then attach it, Cryptic Coat to it, and then equipped creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. Then you can tap a blue and a colorless to return it to your hand. So very good evasion. You know, kind of side steps removal a lot of the time. So pretty good. Works really well with Satoro too. Alrighty. The top card is cloaked. Been explaining this to Hector. Saying this is the creature. I believe it's a 3/2 right now. Because the cloak creatures, I believe, are 2/2s. Which means it will be a good blocker for Ragavan. But unfortunately, Hector does have several pieces of removal in his hand to deal with this cloak creature. And it's a 2/2 vanilla. Sweet. Thanks, bird. And he draws another counterspell. We're going to Unholy Heat. Targeting the creature, so we're going to have 2 triggers here. From 2 Dragon's Rage Channelers. I didn't quite get a good look. If he puts it in the graveyard, we'll see it. Yeah. Alright. Ben has an Ephemerate. It'll blink it. And he blinks it into a Soul Herder. That's pretty good. And so for those of you that may not remember Soul Herder, I've never... Soul Herder is a 3 mana 1/1 whenever a creature is exiled from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Soul Herder, and at the beginning of your end step, You may exile another target creature you control, then return it back to the battlefield under its owner's control. And here it is on screen for you. Ephemerate does have rebound too, so it'll be back on Ben's upkeep. That is a foil etched Soul Herder. That's why it's so dark. Yeah, that's really good. Obviously, all the time, whenever you're cloaking cards, you're not always going to hit a creature. But when you do, it has insane synergy with Ephemerate. See how Hector wants to approach this turn. He does have some free attacks, I believe, with these. Well, he has to attack with the Dragon's Rage Channelers. I think this is 6 coming across. If he is... Oh, it's only 2. So he must not have... He must not be delirious quite yet. I'm not sure why Hector's lands are tapped. Did he do something? He just played the Unholy Heat, right? Let me go out there and make sure that he didn't just tap the lands for no reason. All right, that makes sense. The token has Ward 2, yes. Correct. That makes sense. And here is Solitude. Gonna come in, we're gonna target Ragavan. Hector's gonna go to 15. He's going to cast that Ephemerate, so it's going to enter the battlefield again, and this time it is here to stay. Putting another +1 counter on Soul Herder. Getting Darcy out of the way. And taking Hector to 16. Hector's like, wait, you get to keep it? Unfortunately, yes. And an attack for 4, gonna take Hector down to 12. End of the turn, he's gonna get to blink the Solitude, which is gonna make it enter the battlefield, and there goes your last creature, man. Thanks for coming. This deck kind of eats creature decks alive. Speaking of creatures, there's a Murktide. Can he cast it, though? I don't know. Not sure how many cards are in Hector's graveyard. Yeah, been in a pretty dominant position here. If Hector does go for, if he can, in fact, and it looks like, yeah, he's got plenty of cards in his graveyard. He's going to be able to cast this Murktide. Unfortunately, though, for Hector, he's walking straight into this Solitude again. Because that Ephemerate's going to rebound. And I'm sure we're going to get the Solitude with that. But he's a big old Murktide. That's a big boy. And there's another Ephemerate, yep. So it'll happen even sooner. So... Alrighty. End of the turn, we're going to return Cryptic Coat to the hand. And here's another Cryptic Coat. And a pass back. Trying to keep up with these life totals. Yeah, he's staring at 2 counter spells. We'll go to game 2. A nice in-between handshake. It's going to be a win for Ben. And we will head back here. Hey, everybody. What's up? Thank you for watching here live. Twitch.tv/Impact Gaming Center. If you are watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're watching on Twitch, head on over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe over there too. We're going to be posting other content that is more than just these videos as well. We already have other content on there, short form content, but content nevertheless. I'm Les Alex. You can find me on the internet. I make YouTube videos as well. And I have a Twitter. You can go follow me if you want. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. If you are in the St. Louis area, we've got some fun things coming up. It is draft weekend here at Impact. So tomorrow at 1 p.m., we will be hosting a Outlaws at Thunder Junction draft. And on Sunday, we'll be doing the same thing at 1 p.m. as well. In addition, tomorrow to the draft, we are also having May the 4th be with you, free board game day. So we will be selling our Star Wars Unlimited, words are hard, 2-player decks, 2-player starter decks for only, I think, $5 off. So we'll be discounting those. You guys can come pick those up, and it's free board games all day from 1 to close, which is 10 p.m. And we're about 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. So come on up, hang out, play some card games, play some board games. It'll be a blast. These players are getting ready for game number 2. And let's get back down there. See if we can't see any cards coming in. Typically, we don't really get much information from these sideboards. But yeah, it's been a good night. I think we have probably 4 rounds, unless there's a weird pair down. We will have 4 rounds today, so should be fun. Let me reset these life totals real quick. All right. Been ready. Hector's still checking out the sideboard, figuring out what he wants to bring in. I'm not sure. I've played Murktide once. Actually, I borrowed Ben's. Funny enough, funny story. I borrowed Ben's Jeskai Murktide Breach deck for an FNM many moons ago. It was a ton of fun. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was a blast. I think I went 3-1 or something. Oh, was he just going full on 75 cards? Holy smokes. Is that right? Hold on, let me zoom out. He's got some cards over there. I don't know. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. So we put this match on. Hey, it's the 2 seed. So both these players obviously 1-1. But also, I wanted to get Ben on because this deck that he's playing is really sweet. When he gets things going with Satoro on the battlefield, it's nuts. And as we saw in that first game, Ephemerate doing things with Soul Herder and Solitude, I mean, he's able to just clear the board up incredibly fast. So that's why I had Ben on. I was initially going to have him on round 1. He ended up having a bye round 1. So unfortunately for Hector, he does have the feature match when he's still learning how to play the deck. So I do apologize, Hector, if you're watching this after the fact. We didn't pick you for the feature match to pick on you. I just wanted to see Ben's deck, because once a player starts, getting crooked numbers in the losing column, we typically won't feature them on the feature match table. So both players gonna keep. Sweet. Oh, never mind. I thought it looked like Hector said I'm gonna keep, but I am mistaken. So Hector gonna mulligan. I assume he will be on the play. But he's on a mulligan to 6 currently. Hopefully he finds some good cards and is able to pull himself out of this. Hey, if you don't yet, you should follow Impact Gaming Center on Twitter, also known as X. I'm gonna make a tweet right now saying, hey, come hang out and watch live Magic content. Hey, there we go. We did it. Thanks for all the support. We have 10 out of 10 subscribers. Les Alex, hey, that's me. I want to check out these new, really sweet emotes that we got. That's awesome. So yeah, folks, if you are a subscriber, make sure use those emotes. All right, so we had a consider, fetch, and a shock. And here we have a fetch and a shock. So Fluted Delta into Hallowed Fountain. Galaxy Foil, I'm sure. There's an Ether Vial. So he's explaining to Hector right now what Ether Vial does. I like the spinning IGC logo. That's cool. And the spinning poggers. But yeah, I do like these emotes. Not only because I helped design them, but it's cool. I need to. It reminds me too that I need to redo my emotes for my streams, for my channel. Gotta update them. All right, we're gonna play land. It's a misty rainforest. Cracking up fetch down to 16. It is, yeah, it's Teferi, more or less. It is Teferi. Legally, it's not Teferi, you know? Legally, it's not Teferi. It is just a time mage. A little chibi time mage with a staff. You can call him Teferi if you want. Right? Yeah, I like that one a lot. The GG, especially the dancing one. And the punt one, of course, based after a mind mage that is pretty popular in Magic the Gathering. A blue, uses blue colored mana. All right, back to the action. We have an Arid Mesa inbound, followed by a second Ether Vial. And there's other, we do have other emotes as well at different tiers. So depending on the tier level, Steam Vent's gonna enter the battlefield. For Hector. All right, he's gonna destroy all artifacts, I do believe here. And that'll happen, says Ben, so that'll put a bump in Ben's road for sure. We're gonna fetch. Down to 16 goes Ben. Let's see what land he gets. Undercity Sewers. Foil full art. We're gonna get the Surveil. And Ben will elect to keep that one. But yeah, these modes are pretty fun. I very much like them. Again, I did design them or whatever, but Nevertheless, I wanted to have them so whenever I'm in other chats, I can participate with these fun emotes. And a Satoro gonna enter the battlefield. I think Ben's explaining the synergies between Satoro and the Ether Vials. Ragavan the draw for Hector. Looks like he's got a Bolt, Dress Down, Unholy Heat, and I'm not sure what else. Bolt gonna ephemerate the Satoro. So, saying this does resolve, yes? Hector could have sequenced this a little bit differently. He could have Unholy Heated and then had the Bolt in response. But nevertheless, Satoro gonna enter the battlefield, and Ben's gonna get to draw a card, since no mana was paid to cast Satoro. Now, Hector could Unholy Heat him here, but obviously the difference being Ben wouldn't have gotten to draw the card. I also think just using Unholy Heat first on creatures is just usually the better thing to do. Just because Bolt can go to the face if need be. So we have a Ragavan inbound. And Hector, if you're watching this after the fact, I'm not, you know, trying to lay into you. Just trying to make an observation and convey that to the listeners. All right, so he gets to draw another card thanks to the rebounded Ephemerate. And he'll play Plains. Or that's an island. And here's a herder. So we're going to get to draw some cards here. Ben's getting to do his thing. Ben's going to get to flicker the Satoro. And of course, so are we? Here comes the Unholy Heat. Onto the Soul Herder. Ben was trying to figure out where that was happening, if it was happening in response to the Soul Herder, or where we were at in the turn cycle. I don't know what card that is that Hector just drew. It's got a Murktide, a Dress Down, and I don't know the card that he just drew. If Chad, if you know what that card is, let me know. Or if you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments. Can't make out that art. Oh, we're about to find out. Oh, it's Preordain. Okay, just the the dual deck Preordain art. Ragavan and Preordain. I'm gonna draw Ragavan. Put Preordain back on top. I might have put the Ragavan on bottom. or attacked potentially, then casted the preordained. But let's see. Is it Murktide time? I think it is. And big ol' Merc. Hey! Birdman gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you. Thank you, Birdman. And congratulations to Jquek. Number series. Had Tokid and Grat. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Birdman. That's a total of 7 tonight, I think? Yeah, 7. You are the gift leader now. So shout out Birdman. Inbound comes a Solitude. We're going to exile Skyclave Apparition. Hey, there you go, number series. Now you get to use your GG emote. All right, so inbound comes Solitude. Hey, there we go, the IGC spinning logo. Up to 20 goes Hector. And Solitude will hit the bin now that it has been evoked. Here's one of my emotes. There's one of my emotes. If you guys want, you can follow me on Twitch. Click that button and hit follow. You don't even have to leave the stream. Gotta get channel points going here too. Not sure quite what we're talking about here. Again, Hector, still learning this deck. I like that kitty cat emote. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm just not sure what we're talking about here. Gonna preordain here for Hector. It's like Misty Rainforest and an unnamed card. I can't see. If you can, please let me know in chat. Whatever it is, it looks like he's keeping it. Looks like he wants both of them. Oh, it's Bobble. Bobble? Bobble you. Can't see that to save my life. Hector is at 18. Kind of important. Life totals are kind of important. Hey, Birdman. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. We're up to 16. Holy smokes, guys. We started tonight with 7. This is insane. Shout out to everybody who subbed. And Birdman, shout out to you. 7 gifted subs total. We're going to cast a subtlety. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. And you get that first badge. That's actually really cool. That's the reason I actually subbed tonight, is because I wanted that first badge. That first badge will stay forever, basically. You'll have that badge as a founding subscriber. So, pretty cool. I don't know how many there are, or like if there's a time frame and it goes away, but after X amount or after so many months, you won't be able to get that founder badge. So we'll cast Ragavan off of a Steam Vents. I'm just saying we're only 4 subs away from 20. Unlocking some more emotes. Just saying. 10 people? The first 10 people? That makes sense. I don't know if that's true, but we'll go with it. Sure. Yeah, it's 10 people, obviously. All right, we're attacking. Down to 13. Nice strong attack for 5. Right? Almost. Ether Vial. Not sure what this card is that he just played. So we have the technology, we have the power. Oh, it's Wall of Omens. Sure. So when it enters the battlefield, it gets to draw a card. Good old-fashioned Wall of Omens. That's a card I have casted many times. Affiliates of the first 10? Sweet. Good to know. Would have never known otherwise. I mean, been kind of in a commanding position here. I've said it before on stream when we've had Murktide decks, and I'll say it again here. Murktide is a great deck. I mean, just dominant deck when you're playing from ahead. Really struggles though when it's playing from behind. There are certain decks that just have a really rough time of getting back. But as long as you are ahead, Murktide is an excellent deck. One of the best decks in the format when you're ahead. However, once it starts to slip behind, it really struggles. So this is kind of dire straits here for Hector, as we're going to fetch, drop to 15 for Ben. Get an archive, which means we will get to surveil. Hector going to take a cut. Hector coming off a long break. Oh, did he have a short round 1? I know Ben had the bye round 1, so that's a pretty long break. Not playing. Not playing since last Friday. I'm sure he's played, but maybe he hasn't. I don't know. I don't know his life. All right, here's a Solitude inbound. This is hard casted. What are we targeting here? Gonna crack and fetch for Hector, down to 12. Oh, he's got this is actually really good. Dress down in hand. So that'll kind of negate the Solitude ability. And draw Hector a card. And Ben is tapped out. So we will trigger Dragon's Rage Channeler. Keep that on top. And Dress Down does draw Hector a card. I didn't quite see what that was. Yeah, so none of these cards have any abilities. None of these creatures have any abilities. That is time on the future match round, so let me go tell them that real quick. I'll be right back. Alrighty. So we are in time here. So double blocking. Yeah, and I'm not sure if Ben's going to be able to beat Hector this game. He is up a game, though, so Ben will most likely pick up this win and head to 2-0. Hector will more than likely drop to 1-1. Just a pretty insurmountable advantage here for Ben. Flusterstorm the draw, and Unholy Heat, 2 cards in hand. I think we're just passing. Unless he wants to do that now while Ben's tapped out. I get that. Yep. That'll likely do it for Hector's turn. It's turn number 1 in turns. But again, Ben does not have to win this game to win the match. So turn 2. File up to 2. Flick, flick, flick of the cards goes Ben. I think Ben's explaining how turns work. There is a Soul Herder on the battlefield, or not on the battlefield, excuse me, in Ben's hand. We're going to attack for 2. Down to 8 goes Hector. And inbound goes Soul Herder into the turn. We're going to probably flicker this Satoro. Get to draw a card and put a +1 counter on Soul Herder. Down to 14. Oh no, failed to find. It happens to the best of us. So Flusterstorm, unfortunately, does not work against Cryptic Coat. Not an instant or sorcery. So that will resolve. Satoro would trigger. He'll draw a card. And we will blink the Wall of Omens, put a +1 counter on it, which also is going to trigger Satoro. So we're going to draw 2 cards. Oh man, when this deck is humming, it's really humming. Holy smokes. I like this deck that Ben has brought to the table. I mean, both these decks are up my alley. You know, blue tempo-based decks that can play control or aggro. I always love those kind of decks, but this Esper Satoru deck is definitely something special. Hey, Rackard Dabs. Love you too. Let's get some hype in chat. For Rock Hard Dabs. We'll dab. I dab emote. There it People watching on YouTube not having any clue what we're talking about here. Gonna put the Ragavan in exile. And the subtlety to hand, I believe. Doesn't have enough mana to cast all these things, obviously, but he can pitch the... What is this? Stoneforge Mystic, which is going to trigger Satoro. So he'll stack the triggers in such a way where he'll search first and then draw the card. He'll get Assimilation Aegis, which is an O-ring and an enchantment, and a equipment rather. And he'll draw a card off of Satoro. He will keep the vial. Ooh, and he got an Ephemerate. Pretty good. This is turn 3. Or I think this is turn 4, actually. Again, Ben does not need to kill him this turn. Or this game, even. He just needs to not die, which I think is likely the outcome here. Yep. We'll cast the Aegis. It'll enter the battlefield. It will O-ring the Ragavan. Now, of note, he could stop this with the subtlety. And get in there. And there's a handshake. Ben gonna take this one with Esper Satoru. Improved to 2-0. Hector gonna drop to 1-1. Esper Satoru beating Izzet Murktide. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us for round number 2. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. There will be another video that will be probably up on the screen at this point. But thanks, everybody, for hanging out. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned because round 3 is right around the corner. We called time about 15 minutes ago, so stay here. Do not go anywhere. I'm Les Alex. You can follow me on social media. I make YouTube content for Magic the Gathering. Go follow me on Twitch and YouTube and all the things. Keep it locked in here at Impact, and we will see you on the other side of this short ad break.